So what kind of tea do you have?
Coffee.
Blasphemy.
Well, see, I said I was low on mint tea. It turns out there's just no mint tea. And I was like, oh, I could make some Earl Grey, but I didn't know where it was. So I sipped Satan juice.
Yeah. No, I like a good coffee. I was looking for some peppermint tea because I felt like it would be very minty.
Yeah, I was like, we're both low on the mint juices.
Yeah, I ended up finding like green tea with spearmint. So, still minty.
Yeah, still very minty.
But,
yeah, so what's in Pursue Ascension?
What?
What's in Follow-Up?
What did you call it in this?
Pursue Ascension.
I was very confused. I was gonna ask you what that meant.
Oh, I see. So you've put...
Oh, right.
Single digit.
Yeah. So I guess this is the last single digit episode we'll ever do.
I see. Oh, wow. That's... It's almost like your 10th birthday and you think like, man, it feels like there should be something more to, honor that this is like last year being a single digit. And then you realize that age is arbitrary and no one cares.
Yeah, it's just a number. But it's,
Prison's just a building.
What?
God, that's such a... Never mind.
I'm not talking about age. I'm just saying this is podcast number 9.
Yeah. So goodbye, single digits.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean,
goodbye.
Don't say goodbye yet. We're just starting this one.
No, goodbye. This is episode 9.1.
The episode's over.
Yeah, that's it. Bye. It's nice knowing you. Single digits.
Just kidding.
But, yeah. So, for a quiz, last time we had a quiz, it was between dogs and fruit. And we did dogs, but should we do the fruit feeding?
Yeah. All right. You're just in a hurry here. Get moving on through this.
I mean, unless you had anything else to follow up on.
No, I'm just stalling because I don't remember where I put the link.
You're just like, what's
Oh wait, okay, here it is. I bookmarked it.
Oh, nice.
I was like, did I not send it to you at some point? Yeah. No.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Goodbye.
You want to make sure it's the same fruit quiz that I was looking at last time.
Okay. What fruit matches your personality? Which of the following hobbies sound... Oh, boy. Which of the following hobbies sounds the most interesting? Not which ones you do, which ones are interesting, okay? Scuba diving, bungee jumping, rock climbing, too risky.
Well, I think it's which one, like, interests you most. Like, which one could you see yourself doing?
Scuba diving. I mean, I like doing aqua-based things.
I'm gonna go with rock climbing because I'm good at climbing on things, and I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say rock climbing for the same reason. I do like it's like doing lots of mini puzzles in your head where you have to find where to put your hand where.
Yeah, and I'm also like I'm pretty light, so it's like easy for me to like fling my body around.
I was gonna say scuba diving as well sounds fun because it's like.
Yeah, but I'm like personally I'm pretty bad at swimming, so scuba diving is a little bit scary for me.
I'm alright at swimming.
Yeah,
I mean, yet again, there is the fear that you look down and there's endless nothing.
I mean, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah, being completely surrounded by everything and nothing. I'll go for scuba diving mainly because, yeah.
You like water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bungee jumping just doesn't seem too appealing.
I mean, it feels like something you do once to say you've done it.
Yeah, I hear it's bad for your spine as well.
Yeah, so there's like there's the chance the cable wraps around your neck and then fun, not so fun stuff happens at the end.
Well, sure. I mean, you could die doing any of those three things.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
That's why there's it's all too risky option. But
pick a more pick a more casual hobby. Knitting, reading, playing sports. Playing sports, bit too vague. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting into knitting, again.
Yeah.
That sounds peaceful, and, you can listen to great podcasts while you're doing it, such as the MBP.
Yeah, I'm sort of torn between
knitting
and reading.
I mean, it feels like I don't do reading as a hobby as much as it's just a thing. Like, it's just like it's like I don't watch movies as a hobby. I just watch movies.
Yeah.
I haven't made a hobby out of reading. It's just a...
Yeah, I feel you. Knitting feels more like a hobby. Whereas reading is just sort of an activity.
Yeah. Probably just do playing sports.
I'm gonna go for knitting.
Alright, cool. Play sports. Click. Pick a savory / salty food. So we have fries, burgers, steak, chips, popcorn, pretzels, pizza, tacos.
Lots of options on this one.
They put my two favorite snack foods right next to each other, popcorn and pretzels, and I
always appreciate when quizzes have multiple numbers of options in their questions. I think it's way too simple to have, 4 possible results and there's 4 answer choices for every question.
But now there's all this new stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Like, currently, I just had some pizza, but I wouldn't mind like a bag of like popcorn or maybe a big bag of pretzels. I don't know. Pretzels sounds... I'm in the mood for pretzels, so I'll go pretzels.
You gotta assume the chips are crisps as well, because it says fries as a separate.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm probably between burger and chips, but I think I'm gonna go chips.
Cool. Okay, pick a sweet food. Fruit, ice cream, chocolate, cake, chocolate, cake, donut, cookies, candy. No thanks. I don't know. Candy's kind of like a broad term. You know what? I wouldn't mind some like Ben and Jerry's or Haagen-Dazs ice cream right now. Well, maybe just a tub of like Sainsbury's brand.
Just a tub of donuts.
Just a big old tub of cake.
Just a tub of donuts.
Mug cake's quite nice. But anyhow. Yeah, no, food is one of those things where it's like more what I'm feeling at the moment instead of...
Oh yeah, sure.
Instead of like, I always have this one thing I go for. So I'm gonna go for ice cream because I'm feeling like having a big old goop of frozen cream. Yeah. So pick a name. So Julius, Steph, Josh, Amy, Mia, Lily, Stu, and Billy. Huh. Well, or Steph. Is it? Yeah, no. Never mind. I mean, like Billy, but like just 'cause it's a very memeable name.
I don't know which one I should go with though.
Yeah, these all seem like Billy seems to be the only one that kind of sticks out. 'Cause when you meet someone, they don't meet many Billies, but you meet more like Stews and Joshes. That's a tricky one. Oh yeah, that's an aggressive mug putting down. Sorry. I think we're just gonna go for Billy.
An aggressive mugging. Is that what you just said?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'll go for Billy.
I'm stuck between. Okay, Billy my boy. Finalists are Josh, Amy, and Lily.
One's a plant, one's a biblical character name, and the other is a Doctor Who sidekick.
I was kind of thinking of that. Yeah, wasn't gonna say it, so no, I'll go with Lily. Why not?
Alrighty. Last one. What's your mental age? 2000.
Your mental age.
Well,
9
213,
podcasts.
18, 20. Well, last time I took one. It said I took it 3 times. I got 3 different results. So I kind of averaged them, and I got like probably the closest was 27, I think. But this question looks like it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. So.
Oh, that could be a thing. We could try and
Yeah.
we do a BuzzFeed quiz by doing a BuzzFeed quiz for each question.
Yikes.
Like
Sure.
this one's like, what is your mental age? And we go find a quiz that will tell us what age we are.
I need a lot of setup, but I think we have
Yeah, that would be like
we
a
have
full...
something coming up where if we'll have a large allotted time space with
maybe. I don't know.
maybe. Depends how it
Something to think about for the future.
But I just like the appeal of 34,908. Just like it's like one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as you click it, I guess close your eyes and then.
I'll go with 27 because I feel like my mental age skews a little bit older.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. So, fine. All right. Okay, what did you get? Just because fruit names are hard.
I got an orange.
I'm gonna read the little subtext.
It's a color,
Because you're
but
small
also
again.
a fruit.
Great.
Oh, right. It has a description.
Yeah.
You live a pretty standard, and straightforward life. You're calm and you tend to shy away from the spotlight. I'm an orange.
Oh, but orange is my favorite color. How do you do this to me, Buzzfeed? So I got a banana. And this makes me sound like I have schizophrenia because it says it's almost like I have a split personality. That's a yikes from me, Chief. Because of that, people never really know what. Sorry, I can't read. Because of that, people never really know what to think of you. You're often pretty shy, but then at other times you're super outgoing. Like, why is that scarily? They just pick general terms that everyone feels like they are. It's based on, like, the dog quiz was like, oh, you're a friendly dog that does the bark. Wow, look at you go, you little walkie boy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the reason I'm like, oh wow, that I feel that, but that's just that like, it just it's weird because it's like a vague phrase, but it feels like because we've done like a quiz with several different questions, it's like, I mean, it's interesting actually looking into like the psychology of
yeah, they are
BuzzFeed
kind of
quizzes.
They are kind of vague, and they like a fortune teller, like sort of just you find like your own meaning for it, you know. But
like all those,
that being said, like for the dog one, like mine straight up called me short.
Said you're short. Yeah, and mine,
it's like it wouldn't have made as much sense if we'd gotten each other's, you know.
Yeah. I guess the height difference of the banana and the orange stays similar, so.
I mean, this one's the fruit quiz here is saying that basically I'm like boring and straightforward, and you're like all over the place.
Yeah.
And hard to read, which is like maybe a description for our roles in this podcast, but that's also
maybe not.
Yeah, that's also like a pretty vague interpretation.
No, I think we should let a random online quiz dictate our personalities. What?
Yeah.
We have quite a few things on the show notes. Where do you want to start? Exactly.
We can start at the top.
Okay.
Work our way down.
Yeah. As of recording a week ago or so. Was it a week ago?
Right. There's been a fire. Since
well,
we recorded the last episode.
Well, there's... Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Nah, I'll say that for just until everything's properly done.
Fair. Yeah.
Don't talk prematurely.
Clearly, what I was talking about was Notre Dame. Yep.
Yep, Notre Dame de Paris. But there was like this whole big thing where people were like, oh, well, Ubisoft has offered to help because they have a full mapping for when they did AC Unity. And it's like, no, because, like, why would they? And two, I think France already has, like, there is already 3D models already, and everything in there has been photographed and scanned, and every, like, small bit is mapped out somewhere.
Yeah, I think they've probably got it under control.
But I mean, Ubisoft, I think they donated $500,000 to the rebuilding cause, and then for a week they allowed you to download and play Assassin's Creed. Well, it was just Assassin's Creed Unity was free for like a week, but you could still like it. Yeah, it was like on a discount thing. But it's just interesting how like quickly the rumor seemed to spread out from an article saying, oh, they could possibly do this because the people who researched into building the map of Assassin's Creed Unity spent years going back and forth between the Ubisoft headquarters in Paris, taking photos and making full 3D models.
Right.
That's already been done, but then it kind of got blown out of proportion in a way by another article that kind of hyped up the other article a bit.
Yeah, it's like, it's something about, I guess it's like clickbait culture with articles.
Yeah.
Where it's like you want
I
your
was just
headline
scrolling through Twitter and it was like, how Assassin's Creed can save Notre Dame.
Yeah, exactly. You want your headline to like outdo the previous one.
Yeah.
And you're also like constantly looking for new like stories and like new trending stories.
Milk.
So you just someone posts something and then you're immediately stealing it and trying to make the headline even more attractive than theirs. Yeah. It's like this is like how stuff gets blown out of proportion, like 101.
Yeah, it is quite obvious that Ubisoft is doing this like a bit like for clout and for just good rep, because they definitely weren't going to do it unless this whole Assassin's Creed could save all of Paris and we all live on Mars and all happily ever after. But
yeah, but it's the kind of thing where it's like someone was like, hypothetically this might be useful, and then someone else was like, would you offer your services to help them? And it's like, and the person's like, well, yeah, if they needed that, if they didn't, like, if they wanted the help, if they didn't already have their own models to work from, of course we would, you know? And then people take that as like, Ubisoft offers to help, like, whatever. Like, it's like, no, you asked them if they would, if they were asked. That's very different from like, you know, barging in and offering your services.
So I just thought it was quite interesting how it was seemingly, it was not long after the fire this had blown up. But yeah, it's cooled down now. And
it was just a crazy social media storm kind of story, and it is a big deal. I mean, like, it's huge to like religion and history and architecture. Like, this is a big loss, but it's just one of those things that caught social media in just the right way, to where it's like,
of course,
everyone has some kind of story associated with it.
Yeah, of course. So what's up next?
Witty transition. So, any changes on the sleep front as far as you're concerned?
Well, since getting back to school, I've had to keep my 6:30 till 10 schedule, and that seems to be going well. Again, all the good slaps. Sometimes I have recently been getting those nights where I just, no matter what I do, I can't get to sleep until like midnight, and then finally something just clicks and I fall asleep. But yeah, no, my sleep schedule's been fine.
Right.
How have you been? How's your attempt of fixing yours?
Well, immediately after the previous episode went up, I started sleeping like 2 hours a night, and then like staying up, and
Oh my god.
and then like sleeping in the middle of the day, and it got horrifically like off schedule as soon as that episode came out.
Very bad.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
as of recording this, I can say, because I've actually been doing a bit of simple time tracking the past month or so.
Yeah.
And I can see like a consistent block of time where I've been sleeping like 7 hours or so a night, which is like it's my target, I guess.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah. So we'll see if that continues.
Next episode, you're just like a zombie lives off adrenaline and epinephrine. Yeah.
It could also be partially because we procrastinate on recording these so long that like the day or two before an episode comes out, it's like I can't really afford to sleep.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Sometimes. It depends on how close we cut it. I think last episode was particularly close, so that probably had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like once you get off schedule, it's hard to get back on.
The weird thing with our podcast is like if we record it too early in the month, it feels like everything we've said instantly becomes irrelevant by the time it comes out the next month.
Yeah.
But then if we do it too late, it leads to Tired Scar. Though it depends who's doing the MBBC or Tired Wabbles. So yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So
it's been good that you've been working on your sleep.
Yeah, slightly better. I remember thinking about it at the time that I should mention it on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't write it down, so I don't remember any of the specifics now.
Yeah.
But I did have a dream involving an animal attack of some kind. I don't remember it now though, but I have like this feeling that I did, because I remember thinking, oh, I should mention that.
You had another one?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's.
I mean, I've also. It's not like that's the only kind of dream I have. I've had like a slew of dreams since now and since the last time we talked about it.
You just close your eyes and you wake up in a room surrounded by animals. But yeah.
No. No, I mean, they're mostly just weird, nonsensical stuff. Like, I had a dream I was, like, on a bus, and someone died and left people floppy disks. And then I was on the roof of the bus, and then...
It's like 13 Reasons Why, but...
And it was a double-decker bus, and I think I was in London, and we were, like, driving through town, and I was on the roof for some reason. And... there was explosions, but it was like fake explosions, and I realized it was because they were filming. And then I saw Idris Elba.
Right.
More recently, my most recent dream. I was Rhett and Link were doing some kind of like public interaction for the sake of one of their videos that they were gonna make.
Going back to the home state.
And I was just like walking. Yeah, I just sort of like walked into it, but like I knew who they were, and I was just like, I remember being really funny and just like ripping into them a bit in the video. And I was like, oh, that's such a weird cameo that just occurred. And I remember thinking I should really like get something. I should throw something together that I can plug. Since I'm about to get this big like spotlight on this like popular YouTube channel. Yeah. And then I was like, no, wait, that didn't really happen. It doesn't matter. I can go back to doing nothing.
I mean, that's sure one hell of a story. Dream.
Yeah. I could go into more details, but nah.
I remember having as interesting a dream can be. And when I went to go tell someone about it, and then as soon as I opened my mouth, every detail about the dream I had just instantly forgotten. And I was like, never mind. Yeah. And it was like something involving like a board game. it's completely gone now.
Yeah, no, they go really fast if you don't.
Yeah, if you don't record them or...
Yeah, I think I just
I still remember dreams when I was like 3 years old.
I remember a
like
few that I had when I was really young, but I think the only reason I remember them is because I remember telling my brother about them.
I think I vaguely remember like probably telling it. Yeah, and that's probably how most dreams are remembered, just because we remember telling someone about them.
Yeah, but it's like if you don't write it down or message someone or like tell someone about it like immediately, you probably just won't remember it at all.
So I'll ask you about this dream in a month and you'll have no idea what I'm going on about.
Yeah. Well, no, the only reason I remember like the Rhett and Link one is because like I woke up and like checked my phone and saw someone had messaged me, and I just like messaged them like a paragraph ramble about my dream.
Sometimes I have this thing where my dream will end really sadly, or it will be like something annoying or bad, and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, it's just a dream. Phew, I thought I was actually being interrogated by Hitler the T-Rex. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, most of the dreams I had, especially in the last couple of weeks, it's weird, like, with going back to school, because I don't actually mind school, it's just the feeling of having to go back to school is the thing I actually dread more.
Weird.
And it feels like this overbearing just dread of not having any free time kind of carried into my dreams. So I'd wake up and like have like it would be a dream where I would have like piles of homework to do and I only had a couple minutes to do them. And then I remember being stressed and panicked in the dream and then just waking up and like, oh yeah, it's Saturday. And then going about my business. But it's weird.
Yeah.
School itself is fine. It's just the idea of school is scary. I think that's how I could say it best.
Yeah, I think I get that feeling. I think that's sort of similar to people who, it's like when you do one activity all day,
right?
That sort of becomes all your brain can think about, and you start anticipating. Like I hear it's like a common thing with people who have been playing a lot of Tetris.
Right.
It's like they're not even playing a game of Tetris, but in their head they start thinking about like blocks falling and like where they would put it.
Oh, the Tetris effect, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like if I had a T block right now, I know exactly where I would put it. It's like, no, you don't. You're not playing Tetris right now. But it's like your brain is just ready. And that I think can carry over into dreams.
Yeah.
Like I know I remember like when I first started using Discord a lot, I was using it like really, really heavily. Partially because
I see. Yeah.
I
can imagine
had like no other social interactions going on at the time. Like a healthy human living on their own, never leaving their house. But yeah, I remember having some dreams where I was like using Discord in my sleep, and then I would wake up and be like, no, what? I didn't. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Was that a conversation that happened in real life, or was that one I was just
quite
dreaming
surreal
about, like typing, like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you've been going too hard on something.
Yeah. There's been
and sometimes that thing is school and homework. Not really related to dreams, but I was thinking about this the other day, and I wrote down a little note to remind myself to mention it. I was thinking about emoji, and in particular, I don't know if it was recorded anywhere or if it was just conversations I had with people, but I remember a couple years ago specifically saying, I made my demands,
of course, like everyone does,
for what emoji I felt needed to be added, and I will say my demands have been met and my expectations have been exceeded.
Yeah,
because my three suggestions were I think we need a pie emoji. I think we need a salt shaker emoji.
Of course.
And I would like a raccoon emoji. And I figured pie and salt were fairly likely. And I didn't think we would get a raccoon anytime soon.
Of course. Yeah.
But I wanted one. So that was my list. And I was thinking about emoji the other day, and I was looking at it, and
yeah,
all 3 of those have now been accepted into Unicode and whatnot.
Well, if there's any other requests you'd like to make, say it now. So the emoji gods.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, is I feel like my demands have been met. And I'm wondering, do you think there's any, like, gaping holes in the Unicode?
Maybe a more variety on doggos. Right.
More. Yeah, because doggos are pretty varied.
Oh, I was trying to find something the other day, and I forgot what it was. Might have actually been a salt shaker.
But how would you do that? Would you?
Well, like, they have the different skin tones and stuff for the people. So I wonder if they could do something similar with, or try to do something similar with that.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Like, use the same
different breeds
skin
and
codes, but for dogs.
Maybe, like, you probably only have, like, Labrador Collie, like Labrador Dalmatian and Alsatian
just
or something.
Have, like,
all the shins. Yeah,
right.
Like, dog size, like, yeah.
And just have, like, universally accepted, like...
And then maybe eventually we can have all doggos.
Yeah, like this skin code
like
goes with
Terriers
this type of dog, and whatever.
Cocker Spaniels. Yeah, that we would need.
It does seem like there's a lot
of processing power, especially with, like, weird dog breeds. Like, my dog is a mix between a collie and a Labrador, so it's weird how that would work out.
Yeah, it's I almost wonder if should there just be like
oh yeah, and then they can just like
small doggo, big doggo.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like long hair, short hair.
Yeah.
And then just different like colors, variations.
As most people call it, floating businessman, or was it rude boy? You said, which was because it was the logo. Yeah. Because it was like
I think it's officially it's like levitating man or something, but.
Or it was, yeah, and they used it as an exclamation mark.
It was, yeah. It was two-tone. The specials. Technically his name is Walt Jabsco. I think, if I pronounced that right. But
of course,
someone added it to Wingdings as the exclamation point, and that's why he's levitating. I was like, why he's supposed to be?
I've just been thinking, like, why stop that? We could have a emoji for every logo of every company that would be legal to use. Like obeying rules of copyright. I guess since it was added into Wingdings,
I feel like it's less of like a logo and more of like a mascot kind of character.
Yeah, it's not there because of...
But yeah, it's there because it was added into Wingdings. It's not there as a...
but yeah, no.
For ska.
It's just emoji's one of those weird things. Don't know. I actually think I ever sent you the Tom Scott video for the last time we talked about emoji. I don't know. We'll see if that'll be in the show notes. That goes over the history of emoji and how each character works and everything. That's quite interesting. But yeah.
I don't remember. I know we had some in the show notes previously. I don't know which ones, but yeah, we'll throw some more in the show notes. But maybe it's repeats, maybe it's not.
On the topic of social media. Okay.
On the topic of social media, I don't know how much I even want to go into this because I know people have conflicting opinions. But I have been trying out Twitter.
Right, yeah.
I never really was big on the Twitter. And then I was like, this is what the people are using, I better make an account. And I'm
Right.
just, yeah, I'm just gonna say, not a big fan. I think there's a lot of things that could be done better.
Is it?
Sorry, I took some notes, but I think I was angry when I was
gonna
taking
say,
these
just
notes.
like,
It's just a lot of like cursing. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like everyone uses it because everyone uses it, and not because it's good.
yeah,
Necessarily, you know. I don't think people are like, oh, Twitter is so much better than
Snapstagram.
whatever alternative. I think it's a lot of like,
Yeah,
Twitter
it's
is
not
where
like,
the
there's no,
people
like,
are, so
Twitter
that's where I'm gonna
replacement.
go.
It's yeah.
Yeah, there's not a very
No.
equivalent like competitors, so it's
Exactly.
like doesn't necessarily have the
Which is
motivation to
why
be good.
people are kind of half excited about the Epic Store because like everything needs competition to be better. They're trying to one up everyone every time.
Right, and that
Yeah.
people think that's gonna compete with Steam.
Yeah,
or-
and like it could, or give them just something to worry about so they can get their act together. So yeah.
Yeah, I know like Discord wants to do that too, and it seems like just about every developer, A-list developer at this point has their own launcher of some kind. But I don't know. I think a lot of them are kind of garbage.
Yeah, and Steam has lots
at
of
least
features
functional.
that have been built on for the past over 10 years now.
Yeah, I don't really know why everyone
it feels
was
like
so
something
late
you would need to do it
to the game
with
but
Steam as well. I guess EA tried, but no one likes Origin.
It's you would have thought like the big companies, because like Valve is actually like not that big when you're talking about like
EA or
other people in the video game market. It's like they've only like grown in size because of how successful Steam is. But it's just weird that they were the ones who thought of doing that and made the effort to do it rather than you know, like Microsoft or someone.
Yeah, or
was like
EA or
clearly much bigger.
Actually, EA do have one, but no one cares.
Yeah, or even if you're talking about smaller.
Yeah.
Like more game development. But you would think it would be someone like you know, doing software and stuff like.
Yeah, it's funny how these things work out.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is, but like more competition would be nice.
So we're coming out with Blorper, where you blorp on the internet. Yeah, Blorper.
Is that your Twitter competitor? Blorp.
I blorped recently about how the state of
workshop that. I'm not sure that's a. I don't think you should say you blorped.
Blorper and the effect it's having on the young generation.
It sounds.
Stop blorping.
Sounds
with the kids,
somehow
Johnny.
inappropriate. No, don't. Let's not blorp on the kids.
With the adults.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a whole list. I don't like the way it does YouTube embeds. I don't like the way it displays stuff. Like I think it's sometimes it has like extra space between things, and then sometimes it has no space. And I know there's technically a reason, like when it tries to show you stuff that like,
or it'll
whatever it says, like things you missed,
have promotional and tiny text in the bottom.
Right. Yeah, it's like, or an ad, or like when it's showing you stuff out of sequence, it like puts extra space. But it's like either have extra space between each separate tweet, or have no extra space. And it's like also confusing because there's no extra space when it's a reply. And it's like, I know there's a little line to designate it's a reply.
Yeah, or sometimes it won't show you the original tweet that the person is replying to, or just show you a standalone reply. And then
and when you click on the tweet to see all the replies, it's like
it's big, dumb, stupid.
The most recent one is like bigger and in a different format. Yeah. And it's like, why not just make them all look the same? I don't understand. I don't know. I just think it's kind of ugly, and it could be better.
There's
but
all
I
these
just
dumb
don't think they
trends
have
with like
motivation.
Past 5 jobs I've had. It's like no one cares. It's not,
I also think like just really quick so we can move on to a different topic, because
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sure like I'm making people angry. But like, I've
Right.
I've multiple times I've liked something, and then I see it on my timeline later, and it's not
Well,
liked.
that's weird.
Like it doesn't, the heart isn't filled in. But then when I click on it, it is, and it's like that seems like such a basic glitch that
Yeah.
Twitter, being a major
Yeah.
social media platform, shouldn't be
Just one
having.
little tidbit. I do like what Jack Solms is currently doing on Twitter, where he will repost the same screenshot of Twitter for Android. Yeah, that's very funny. Keep doing it.
What is he doing?
It's quite a story of, but he posted a photo and people started making fun of him for saying Twitter for Android. So then he tweeted Twitter for Android, and then noticed how it said Twitter for Android on the bottom. So he took a screenshot of that and reposted it with the caption Twitter for Android, Twitter for Android, Twitter for Android, Twitter for Android. Screenshot that and did that. I think he's done it every morning since
Oh, I see.
December 30th of last year. And
So it's like
yeah,
a loop,
it's ridiculous how many levels
looping
deep it is now.
infinitely.
You can have a
Do they not have a official app on Android?
no. It's
that
just
what
because of
what it's
how it
about?
says Android's for poor people apparently, and you're not an epic Fortnite winner if you use Android or something. I don't know. It's a mass conspiracy.
Okay,
No.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Speaking of Twitter, if you had to
Wait, one last
sure,
one last feature request. I say one last feature request. I don't think any of my complaints so far have been feature requests.
one last
Just-
thing.
Yeah, when you play a
Right.
video, which YouTube embeds don't autoplay, and it hurts their ability to get likes and
Right.
retweets, and therefore encourages people to
Yeah.
freeboot. But when you do play a video, and you scroll down like
Oh,
away
still
from
plays.
it, the audio's it still plays for like a second, and then the audio cuts
Right.
out because it pauses
Yeah.
it or whatever.
I mean, that's.
And I mean that makes
Or do
some
you want
sense,
the pause
but
to be more instant, or do you not want it to pause at all?
well, sometimes I want to listen
I
to
see what
something. Like sometimes it's like music or a podcast or something, and it's like I want to listen to what it is, but continue scrolling and looking through my
I have
feed.
the opposite issue with Reddit. I'll be scrolling down, I'll tap a video. I think that's interesting. I'll keep scrolling, and then I'll reopen the app again. So I've closed it. Reopen it. It'll be back where I was down my feed, but the video from 50 posts ago will be still playing. And I have to scroll all the way back up and pause it. I'm like, why is that happening?
It still plays even when you close it and
Well, no,
reopen
it stop plays when I'm close it, but when I open my phone, it starts from the clip from the beginning again.
That is weird and annoying as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, what a lot of sites will do is have a little like I know Tumblr, YouTube, and Discord will all do this, where they have the little mini player
Thing.
video
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
it's like it would be very easy, especially on the browser version of Twitter,
Of course, yeah. To have a.
like where they have those big blank sidebars that they're not using. It's
Yeah.
like just when you scroll down, have the video go
Yeah.
into the bottom right corner.
Like it does on YouTube or
Yeah.
Netflix, or most well-established social medias have.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a crazy feature to me.
Yeah,
But-
it's just
But they have no reason to waste time on
yeah,
conveniences, because I guess they aren't worried about competition. I don't know.
yeah. It feels like we need to start blorping. I'm betting.
We need to start workshopping a better name.
Nah,
It's
but I wanna be hip with the kids and blorp.
you. I feel like you're gonna get the Rick and Morty audience and no one else.
I mean, I didn't think about that. I haven't seen Rick and Morty in about a year.
Yeah, it just feels like
It does, yeah.
a wobble of the
Newsflash: blorping has
dub.
been banned in several states.
word.
Several
Blorping.
schools across the states.
Yeah, I don't know.
Damn kids and their blorpers.
You
So,
laugh now, but when me and Wob start our
a multi-billion
Tech startup.
dollar tech startup, yeah.
yeah.
So, Speaking of Twitter,
Just-
if you had to translate this tweet, lock your doors, I'm coming for you.
Oh god, the translate the tweet thing. Yeah, no. So I started speaking of tech companies that people think are all that I'm gonna just
Dunk on.
complain about. Yeah. So I finally broke down and am trying out Duolingo,
Ooh, it will.
which I know is like a lot of people enjoy.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good way to
Enlighten yourself.
sort of force yourself to practice
Yeah.
foreign language.
I mean, it's not like it feels like people use it more as like their standalone thing to learn language, when it should be like a company learning a language.
Yeah, it should. That's my biggest thing about it is like it absolutely should be to like supplement your learning.
But people seem to
shouldn't
think,
be-
oh yeah, I'm fluent in 15 different languages because I took a Duolingo course. Like, no one says that.
Yeah, like you shouldn't think.
That probably leads to people being very unmotivated when they're bad at a language. But it's like, but I did Duolingo, I did their course. How could I be bad at this? And it's like, no, you don't understand. That's useless. Stop it. Drop that iPad.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think it's useless.
Stop blorping.
But I think their like robot pronunciation things could be better.
Yeah. Maybe. Now, yeah, I haven't used it much, but I remember when I did use it, that was slightly annoying.
And my biggest complaint is that I've always been kind of interested in Russian as a language, and I was like, oh, I've never done any studying of this language, so I'll pick up like, okay, the two languages I'm doing on Duolingo right now are French and Russian. Where like French, I like took some classes on in school.
Right.
And so it was more like a refresher for a lot of that basics.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good for that.
Yeah.
The Russian though, where I was like, oh, I'll start learning Russian on Duolingo and see how good it is at teaching.
Right.
It didn't do any kind of teaching of the alphabet.
Yeah.
Because Russian is like using the Cyrillic alphabet.
Yeah.
Which I guess it was just expecting me to already know.
Yeah, I think Duolingo is best going in, I think, assume, like, knowing a little bit about the language already. But yeah. It's not too friendly to beginners and stuff. But yeah.
I don't know how I'm supposed to know how to pronounce a word if I have in front of me a bunch of letters that I don't know, like, what sounds the letters make. And the thing hasn't taught me what sounds the letters make.
Right.
It's just showing me a word, and there's
the only way
like
you can get the words to learn how they make sound is by doing the basic things that you might not know.
Yeah, like I think they just need to add some like intro to Cyrillic alphabet course that you can take before you take Russian.
Yeah, or like a little like thing in the corner that you can tap, and it like has a little pronunciation chart or something.
Yeah, something. Because like it will. I mean, the little voice thing will pronounce it for you.
Yeah.
But it's like not very good. It kind of
like,
it talks fast and like slurs its words, and you're like not
and
sure.
Also
if
it's like really robotic.
Yeah, you're like, is this Cyrillic letter, which looks like a B, supposed to be pronounced like a V, or is that the robot just clipping the front end of its word?
Right.
Like it could be either or. Like, I don't know.
It's a not too reliable system. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Wobbles.
Mm-hmm.
We are now living in a post-Endgame world.
Yes. As of in the UK, this morning at exactly midnight, Endgame had gone live. Yeah, I know someone who went to the midnight screening.
Right.
I know people who probably right now, at this current moment, are coming out of the screening. Or no, hang on, how long is Infinity War? They're still
I don't know.
watching it. I think it's around 3 hours. I don't care about Marvel movies anymore, but I don't want to know spoilers for the sake of not knowing spoilers at this point. It's just a fun game to me to find out how long I will go without.
Yeah.
I think the quickest is, actually, funnily enough, Infinity War, where it's the day after it came out. I was told everything. So it'd be interesting to see I can keep a clean streak for until it's
Sure.
put on Netflix.
Yeah. My brother does that with the U.S. president. Where he just sees how long he can go without someone telling him who the president is after an election. Yeah. But
like, I just imagine, like, you talk to your brother and it's like, wow, that really tops that last thing, really. It's like, oh, no, what are you gonna say? Is nothing, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I don't think he even made it a day, this most recent election.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
But I think the one before that, he made it a good while, because it was like, Obama was already in the news a lot.
All right. So
because he was, and then it was like when he was going for his second term, my brother was like very disconnected from like the media and stuff. And it wasn't till like probably weeks later or months later, I don't know, where he was just like, oh, I guess he got reelected. Cool. Like, whatever. Like, this affects me zero. But that's, that's his style, I guess.
Maybe I might try it over like in England, where it is a bit more easy to avoid, but with just the who's doing anything at all. Funny enough, I got adverts telling me to vote for Hillary. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm thought I wanted to be advertised.
Campaigning to non-US citizens.
Yeah,
this is confirming everything that the conservatives were afraid of.
Exactly. But yeah, no, that's quite
they're offering to get you into the country illegally if you vote for Hillary.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
I mean,
I didn't think there was a lot of illegal immigration from the UK. But...
yeah, we seem to be quite well off. Well, speaking of
that was a weird tangent. But no, what I was gonna say is, I hope I don't get spoiled on Endgame. I haven't seen it yet.
So you've seen Infinity War, haven't you?
I have seen Infinity War.
I still need to see it.
I kind of didn't care about Marvel too much, and then I ended up seeing Infinity War and Captain Marvel with my family.
Right.
So I feel like we're going to try and see Endgame together at some point.
Yeah. That's quite nice. I mean...
So it's like suddenly...
That's a better reason
when you see...
There have been people who... I said this in a previous episode, when people were just interested in Infinity War because it was advertised lots, and they were like, oh, there's that actor that did a thing, and I like him.
Right, yeah.
Funnily enough, the person they watched Infinity War for dies. So, I mean... was there any real point in anything at all? But now they're apparently Marvel fans, which I also talked about in the previous episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The same issues I have with... It feels just Marvel movies have become a bit too, like, saturated? Is that the right word? Like, it's just become overbearing. Like, I remember talking about watching, like... Thor. Actually, Thor wasn't that good. Like, watching the Iron Man movies was kind of like a weird thing to do. But, like, it feels like people are now going back to watch all the old MCU movies. But yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I still feel like my favorite MCU movies would have to be the Iron Man. The first three. Oh, there was 4, wasn't there? I haven't seen 4. I think I've seen the first 3, though.
Is it 4? I think there's only 3.
Is there only 3? No, yeah, there's only 3. I'm trying... Yeah. Weird how it works out, but yeah.
I know what you mean though. Like it's become kind of overbearing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was gonna say is like I don't think they're like good enough or interesting enough to me personally to like really obsess over them. But
yeah, I mean the movies.
Something that makes this sort of thing more interesting is when you do it socially.
Yeah,
like
I do like the sound of you watching it with your family and you just want to write it out.
Like if we're gonna watch it together, like you don't want anyone to know what's gonna happen.
It's like a family bonding experience,
right? Because it could. Well, also it's like you watch Infinity War and then you make all kinds of predictions, and then you go and watch Endgame together, and you can figure out who was right and like how close you were and stuff.
Yeah,
it's that sort of like social watching experience.
Yeah, it feels like
I think that's where Marvel fits into my life.
It feels like the group of people I just discussed. They are going in like a group of 6 or 7. So it feels like they are watching it more as a group, but they got enticed because of
specific actors.
Yeah. Like, I have a friend, I had some, like, there was this one person, which is a really funny example. You asked them 7 months ago if they ever seen a Marvel movie, and they say yes because they saw Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
And then you ask them now, and then they act like a snobby Marvel fan when you say you haven't seen Infinity War.
Yeah.
I was like,
that is my least favorite kind of person.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, that's a yikes from me, Chief.
It's like, I know
that's
people
one
who
full
don't...
of
Yeah. It's like, I know people who don't care about Marvel, or like don't even care about like movies that much.
Yeah, that's fine. But like, if you're like, gonna...
Yeah, just like own that. Just be like, yeah, I'm not like that into... I don't get that invested in stories or whatever. It's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's, you know yourself, you know your own personality. But to be like, oh no, I know all about this thing that I just like learned about yesterday. It's kind of... it feels disingenuous.
Yeah. It's like the kid that helps up.
The kind of people I like to hang around.
It's like the kid who helps turn on a computer once, and then everyone goes to him as he's the IT expert.
Yeah. Well, and if maybe they are an IT expert.
They just so... but just, I guess every situation they've been put in, it's...
But if they get super cocky about it,
that's what I mean. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I'm the best computer man.
Yeah.
I can sort a spreadsheet by...
I downloaded a torrent once. I'm a hacker.
I looked into elements to change the views on a YouTube video.
Yeah.
See, fun fact, I got bored and decided to hack Cookie Clicker. That was like when I was 8. I felt super cool holding down the 9 key on the number of cookies on my on the display.
You know what? When you do that, you get a bad achievement, and you can never get rid of it.
Oh, I didn't remember that. I don't think I got that. Huh.
Maybe it was before that was implemented, but
no, I'm not gonna do it.
Well,
thanks.
I say a bad achievement. It's like there's achievements in that game, and then there's shadow hidden achievements.
Oh, was that one of them?
I
was like, no, I'm just gonna do that to get the hidden achievement.
Right, one of the hidden achievements is to hack cookies into your game. And people will say, like, oh yeah, I just hacked it just to get the hidden achievement, but it's like at the same time. Yeah. I'd rather have all the achievements except for that one. I think not having that achievement is the achievement.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the way I look at it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're just,
but
never mind.
You know how I am about video games. Like a purist masochist who hates mods which make things convenient.
I mean, when you're playing Gary's mod and you have 15 conflicting mods whenever you fire a weapon you instantly die, I wouldn't say that's convenient. But
okay, Gary's mod is like, the whole purpose is for it to be modded and to play like different custom games and stuff.
Full on.
But like Minecraft, for instance, it's like I very much enjoy the vanilla experience.
Yeah, fair enough.
And there's people who will argue that like, oh, this mod isn't affecting the vanilla experience. It's like, okay, but you just teleported, and that's not okay by me.
Yeah, it feels like
it's
enabled to.
If it's just making the game easier, and
no, it feels like those mods, like where like they will have a car or something. There's normally like some kind of system where there's like 50 new materials and each one needs its own there's like a big convenience, but then everything gets 50 times harder. Sometimes you do get like mods where someone's like, oh, I can press a button and I'm teleported to the nearest diamond. It's like, well, are you really playing Minecraft? Right. Something that like points them where diamond is and stuff. I feel like I like
half the game is searching for things, not just knowing where they are.
Yeah, I did like custom mobs. Those were interesting mods, like the mutant
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I like things.
I'm not
saying
that like
add...
you hate additional fun times. You just don't like cheats.
But and I also I like people recognizing like the difference between the two. Like like if you want to play this complex 50 new elements like automation Minecraft mod pack that's cool, but like that's what you're playing then. You're not playing Minecraft, you're playing
Tekkit or
Tekkit or whatever.
Attack of the B Team, whatever it's called, whatever.
Feed the Beast.
Yeah, that's the other one. There's a Revenge of the C Team.
Don't put a bunch of that garbage in there and then tell me you're playing vanilla Minecraft, because that's just not what you're doing.
Everyone's arguing it's vanilla, but yeah. So yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into this whole debate. I feel like this is the Scott makes people angry podcast.
Yeah.
But I've just the main thing is people will put in stuff for servers, and I get the intention is like a public server. You don't want absolute chaos, so you need to have some control over what people can do. But I just feel like I'd rather you not.
I mean, I used to have a server with a couple of friends, and like we only had like commands like there are only like commands to help you build stuff, so we built like giant spaceships and stuff. But those were like the construction mods we didn't use them. Actually, one time we were trying to build a survival world, but because of how well that it works, we couldn't use wooden axes. But we'd have like the /fly command, so we would set up like I have a hard drive with hours of just footage of me and my friends messing around on my server, which is quite nice. But like, I think
that's fun, and that's like that sounds like everybody was sort of agreeing, sort of like unofficially agreeing to all of that.
Yeah.
I guess I like challenging
Purity.
myself.
Yeah.
And I like the purity of the experience of like, I'm in survival mode. I don't know where anything is. I'm not going to spawn myself any materials. If I want materials, I have to find them and I have to mine them.
I mean,
and it's like,
what I do,
and I'm not going to fly. I'm not going to keep inventory on. If I die, then that's part of the game. And I mean, it sucks, but it's like, you got to deal with it.
Sometimes I had a period of time where I would set up this custom world where it'd be like a desert with nothing in it, and then I would give myself like a few standard things, and then like that was it. I just ran around the desert looking for stuff. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's like any kind of sandbox game. It's all on like how you set it up.
Yeah.
And how you want to play
normally,
it. But
normally I just jump in and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I just have difficulties when I'm trying to play with other people, and I'm like, right. I want a very specific experience of like vanilla, no mods, no cheats, no fooling around. Let's just like work together and collect things and build things.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah. And then they start flying, and then they start like spawning in gold because they want to build a clock. And it's like, you weren't listening.
Yeah. It feels like you need to have a certain group of people that get why you're playing Minecraft.
You have to have
as a group.
Everyone has to be on the same page of like, what kind of experience do you want? Because otherwise it's like, if I'm working for weeks to build myself like a halfway decent house, and then someone else popped into creative mode, built themselves a huge mansion right next door, and then popped back into survival mode. I'm like, okay, my house looks terrible, but I feel like I've been cheated here somehow.
Yeah.
But it's all just I guess with a lot of video games it's all just like self-curated experience,
Yeah. I know, if I find it weird when it like whenever I've said, do you want to play Minecraft as a group, no one's been like, okay, and then you jump in and then suddenly your friend is a full set of diamond armor and they keep killing everyone. It feels like most of the people I've played with agree that we're doing survival.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have had it where that is the case, where it's like, I'm just starting and someone's already got diamond armor, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's who I'm playing with here. But but yeah, a lot of times it doesn't start. It doesn't start like that. A lot of times it starts like we're gonna do survival, and then it's like, oh no, someone is new to the game and they fell in lava and they lost their iron pickaxe. So I'm going to spawn in an iron pickaxe and give it to them. It's like, no, just
keep on
That's
trucking.
part of the game.
Yeah.
Just
I learned,
suck it up and make a new
my
one.
first game, I ran around a bit, built a dirt hut, found a lava ravine, went in, lost all my stuff, spawned in my dirt hut, and I worked my little child Blorp off, getting all that stuff back.
Yeah, you gotta work your blorp off. That's
I think that's the true message of this episode.
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are welcome to play games however they want to, have fun. I also sometimes our ad
in a group you need
unnecessary in like RPGs and stuff. Sometimes our ad just unnecessary restrictions on myself as well, or like Bloons, like Bloons Tower Defense. Sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna do this with nothing but dart monkeys. It's like, would it be easier with a cannon and a ninja monkey and whatever else? It's like, yeah, but I'm just determined, and I'm gonna try and beat this level with nothing but dart monkeys.
We could do some Bloons battles, so then just we can only use monkeys.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like when it's single player, it's very easy to set restrictions on yourself and follow them or not follow them. But that's your choice. When it's multiplayer, it's like if I was to only use dart monkeys and you only use dart monkeys and then you start losing and you throw in a bunch of cannons, it's like that's kind of how it feels, where it's like, oh, but we were doing a thing and it was going good and then you decided to fly.
Yeah.
Or teleport or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, that's the way I play games. It's like,
yeah, fair enough.
I like making restrictions on myself, and I like, and sometimes the restriction is to just play it vanilla as it comes, like, but that's it's not, I don't expect everyone to always play games like that.
I've recently I've been playing a lot more Borderlands 2. I was playing with a friend, and he had this. He set himself a challenge where he could only. I've talked about Borderlands 2 in the past, how there's different brands of weapons, but he only limited himself to only one brand, and he could only use that for the entire game. That was quite interesting, seeing him like how he took the game differently because of how he was being quite picky about his weapons and the way he looked through loot boxes and everything. It was quite more like crates that like loot crates in the game, but like never mind. Yeah.
No, I knew what you meant.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
Yeah, like that's a fun thing to do. I think I want to say at some point my brother was playing, different brother from the one I mentioned earlier, but he was playing Skyrim with like only magic.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
where it was like he refused to use any like melee weapons or anything. He was like just gonna use magic the whole time.
Did he use shouts? I'm guessing that's assumed with.
Yeah, I think that might have been included.
Yeah,
but he does that. I feel like he's done that a couple times with Skyrim. He might have had one where he used no magic. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but it's those kind of fun restrictions that like make stuff interesting.
Yeah,
it's just awkward when you try and do like a multiplayer thing.
Yeah, and so on.
It's like
fun tussles,
and not everybody's on the same page about like what the rules are.
Yeah, Blorp and fun tusslers.
Blorp and fun tussles.
So
speaking of the maximum blorps,
yep.
Can we talk about Brexit?
Sure.
Are we allowed?
We can go again. Have a round. We can. Yes.
Have another go at it.
Yep. If you want to have another shot.
Brexit sidebar.
Mm-hmm. It feels like maybe.
Okay. What?
I was gonna say, should we have like just something to cut to if you don't want to hear about Brexit, because it's kind of it's one of those things where
well, it'll have its own chapter in.
Of course.
So if you're listening in a podcast player, you should be able to.
Blorp heck.
Yeah, just skip to the next chapter. And if you're in a podcast player that doesn't have chapters, then get a better podcast player. I don't know.
I can't. I'm an Android user.
Just skip through 30 seconds until you stop hearing Brexit related stuff.
Yeah, just play Order faintly in the background. Actually, they're playing on. Never mind. Brexit.
Yeah.
So they've delayed it till October.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is last time we talked about this,
You were like, oh, they might delay it. They definitely delayed it.
They were saying pretty firmly that it was like either you're out by this date with no deal or you're out by this date with the deal. And that was sort of the EU stance. And then like a week later they're like, no, just kidding. You can have till October. Or, whenever you want, whatever is convenient. And at this point I feel like I have to blame the EU on this one. Like they're clearly enabling the British Parliament to be like a bunch of whiny babies that can't agree on anything.
Yeah, of course. Like that. I mean, I think it's just because the EU does have a slight likingness to us because we're quite good trade partners.
Well, I guess, yeah, and I guess that's what it is that...
If it was like any other country, they'd be like, nah, get out of here. Any of the countries they care about. But right. Yeah.
I guess that's what it is that ultimately the EU doesn't have the motivation to...
Yeah. They're not in any rush.
To kick you guys out, because they would rather you just stay forever.
Yeah.
So they're going to let you continue...
Sweet time paying...
Yeah.
Membership fees and so on.
Right. So I guess that's what it is, but just looking at it without thinking about that, like, it kind of feels like the EU is like, I don't know how to put this, like a bad parent, I guess, and like the UK is like this toddler who's like, your bedtime is 8:00, and
the child who's still screaming in the McDonald's and the
right. But it's like bedtime is like
bedtime.
The analogy here.
Where it's
like, it's like your bedtime's 8:00, but it's 9:00, and the kid's like, "Can I stay up till 10?" And the parent's like, sure, 10:00, 10's fine." And then it's like, the kid's like, "How about 3 a.m?" And then the parent's like, okay, 3 a.m. Okay, but then for sure you're going to bed at 3 a.m. And the kid's like, and it's like 3:30 already.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? At some point you need to put your foot down or stop pretending.
Yeah.
If they want the UK to stay forever, they should just go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
Say UK,
if they say that,
you're out.
His thing, if they explicitly say that, that means England then has all the cards, which they don't exactly want.
Right, yeah.
So
I guess that's
tricky, because if they say, we want England to stay, then England could pull the rug out from under them and be like, well, that's a shame you can't have this. Oh.
Right, yeah.
Or like, hold this. Yeah. Whatever they
that's
find.
That's the thing,
it's
like,
head.
it's a whole song and dance of negotiation.
Endless game of chicken.
But it's like they're not actually negotiating, they're just like, this is the deadline. No, this is the deadline. Okay, fine, this is the deadline. And it's like, at no point is Europe going to put its foot down because they are more than happy to have their kid walk all over them because it keeps the kid in the house. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the extended metaphor is here. But
the toddler that is trying to move out and go to college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's still more inner squabbling in the EU. In the Parliament.
Right. I just don't understand. Like, I mean, I do understand, but I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, why not start breaking it up into smaller chunks and making deals and...
Yeah, I would...
And like, go ahead and
instead of going like the overall thing, just make small agreements that are consistent.
Yeah, and then leave and like stuff will start to get better, You can leave and improve status quo rather than like staying and getting into fights over like everything. And not fixing anything. Like it just feels like there's no progress being made, but it's gonna go on forever. And I think last I felt like we needed to bring this up because last podcast I was like fairly confident that it was coming to an end. It was like, oh, it's been extended like 300 times already, but I think this is...
The way you were talking, you were like, oh yeah, they've been offered a couple months. I mean, you were saying, yeah, the way you were like...
Yeah.
They're just going to either take the deal or leave the deal and wait another month.
Right. Because that's the way that EU presented it, as basically, if you want an extension, you have to take this deal. And
exactly.
There's no way we're giving you an extension unless you take this deal. And I was like, okay, respect. You have put your foot down, and it's up to the UK to decide what they want to do.
Right.
And then the UK said, we don't want to do either of those. You're going to give it to us for free. And then the EU said, okay.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah.
Yeah, you called my bluff.
Wait, when you say it like that...
I was just like... I don't know. Just like pulling my hair out here because I was like, it's finally one of the two sides has proved they have a backbone, and they're gonna set a hard deadline, and it's gonna be over, and we can move on. And then, like, with little to no push from the other side, they were like, just kidding. Just,
Lol, JK.
We'll figure it out in October. How's that?
But am I gonna? Yeah. It's a whole...
Yeah, I give up. I've given up. There's nothing that either side can do to convince me now that either one of them has a backbone.
Exactly. So,
and I think some of it is just that they don't have the motivation because they genuinely would like them to stay. Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's all nonsense.
Yeah.
It's no point in talking about it anymore because it's all, it's like trying to make sense out of just irrational people.
Yeah. So you talked about how you've seen Doctor Who. I've been quite behind, but I finally decided to get down and watch it. I haven't finished watching it up yet.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah, PhD Whomst. Yeah.
In the show notes, it just says PhD Whomst. And I was... Oh my god. Okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah. So I've started watching Doctor Who, and I don't have any proper thoughts gathered up yet, but just thought it'd be interesting to note that I've started watching it, and we could probably have like a review or something, or
yeah, we could just
in a future have a section where we just gather our thoughts and how we found each.
So you've gone back and you're started with the 9th Doctor, and you're watching all the way through. Or what?
No, I am just gonna start from season 11, but I eventually I probably will buckle down and go in for the big long one from the reboot to current day Doctor Who, which is gonna be one hell of a ride. But I don't know.
So you're just saying you're gonna watch the new season when it comes out.
But yeah, I think eventually, probably if I have a lot of time, I am somewhat considering buckling down for the long haul and binge watching.
Okay. Yeah, I think you said that
several seasons
previously, and that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know when the new season's gonna come out though, because I think they might not have new episodes till 2020.
Okay. Well, that gives me time to watch it, I guess. Then we can have an episode where we just discuss it, where I've got my thoughts all at the moment where they're kind of scattered a bit. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm absolutely at any point you want to talk about Doctor Who on this podcast, I'm down to talk about Doctor Who. I think I'm very, very familiar with all generations of it, and we could easily fill a full podcast with just Doctor Who discussion. So
yeah, that'd be
no worries there.
Okay, ready for video games section?
Video games. I haven't been playing much lately. I have been playing some like crappy mobile games, I guess is the most video games I've played lately.
Right.
A lot of them I find really frustrating.
Right. Ads?
Because like, what did you say? Ads?
Like ads, yeah.
Yeah. Ads are terrible. And like so overbearing in like a lot of the really cheap free games.
Yeah. But somehow have some kind of currency you can buy with real money. See no relation.
Yeah. For some reason I really like even more basic ones than that don't have like a currency or anything. It's just like a simple like concept.
Right, yeah.
Like you gotta stack the blocks, or you gotta make your way through this maze or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's very very simple, but and half of them are like kind of glitchy.
Fair enough. Yeah, cheap, crappy free games that rely on ads as a source of income.
Yeah, I don't know how I got down this rabbit hole of cheap free games
and self-deprecation.
Yeah, that's probably it. That was motivating factor. I'm playing one now as I'm recording this because I was
really.
Oh crap! I can't multitask like that though. I need to focus on the podcast. Sorry, I just died. But yeah, what is this one even called? Color Bump 3D.
That sounds like a blorping good time.
You're a sphere and you're rolling along, and you can only touch shapes that are the same color as you.
I think I've heard of that. It's like color
sometimes
bump.
You change color.
3D. Oh, 3D. I can words.
I told you it's real cheap. I also like Paper IO.
Oh, I think I've seen.
Paper IO 2.
I've seen that. Yeah. I know this one.
Helix Jump.
Yep. I'm playing one called. One I've been playing a lot is called Stickman Hook. It's actually it's quite a good game actually. It's a game where you're a little stickman boy, and it uses like a grappling hook mechanic where there's these balls hung around the level, and you can like carry out momentum. I think I've sunk about 600 levels into it, because it's all randomly generated, so it's quite interesting. I just want to know my location. Sorry, yeah.
Are there levels though? Because that's kind of what I was gonna say with specifically with like the color bump one. Is that it's all randomly generated, and it will give you like whatever stage you're on, but I think it's like it just feels not consistent because there's no menu where you can see the levels.
Right.
I don't feel like I'm progressing. It feels like they're just making it up as it goes along.
Yeah. The good thing with
and running a bunch of ads.
Yeah. The good thing with Stickman Hook is that the more you play, you'll get different skins for your little stick boy, and that's
Paper
that's
IO
some
has
kind of
that
goal.
as well. You get different skins. I don't know. I don't think there's like I like 2 dots a lot more as far as like the amount of care I think that goes into.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about that before.
Yeah, I kind of stopped with that because I got stumped a bit. Like I just left it.
Yeah, I haven't played it in ages, but it's one of those ones I will go back to every now and then because it's like there's a ton of levels to it, but it's like the levels are actual levels, like a human actually designed it, you know?
Yeah.
And level 1 for you is the same as level 1 for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like it's a proper game. It's not just randomly generated crap pretending to be a game.
Yikes.
Harsh words, but I'm still like I'm playing some of this random generated stuff.
Yeah, it's just a mindless activity to.
Yeah, it's pretty mindless. It's frustrating though because it's like I think some of the concepts are good, and some of them I could see being turned into decent games if people put like a little more care into them.
Right.
Like that's I don't know. 2 dots is just my go-to example here, but it's like,
Free Flow, wear it.
Yeah, Free Flow's decent. I think 2 dots they put more work into like the artwork and the soundtrack and stuff than Free Flow.
Yeah,
makes it feel a little bit more like higher quality.
Yeah,
but yeah, Free Flow's another one where it's like they have actual like puzzles.
Yeah,
and
or I've played one game called cut it, where it's like a physics game where you have to cut different blocks. Like it's to do different things, and then there's different switches that do stuff. But you only have like like depending on the level, you have like a limited amount of like cuts. So you have to get like this ball into like this little this like trigger thing. But you can only cut this one. You can only cut once on this certain type of on this one color.
Yeah.
And that's quite an interesting game. That is like another one of those proper levels that have been thought out and tested, and an actual human has put time and effort into it.
Yeah. I just think there's like that makes a difference. Like some of them are pretty simple. Like I think there's one called like Two Cars.
Right.
Where basically, yeah, it's like your screen is split down the middle, and you have to. There's just like multiple lanes, and you just have to move the cars independently to avoid the obstacles. It's like a really simple type of style of game.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that you're doing two of them that have to move independently. So it's like I don't know. It's interesting in the way it makes you look at it. Like you can't focus on your character like you would in a lot of games. You have to sort of be looking at the screen as a whole.
Right, yeah.
And so that, you can move both of them properly.
Yeah.
So it's like something like a concept like that is like fine, whatever, and it's just you get a high score at the end, and that seems like a decent game. But a lot of games that like really there should be levels and progression and stuff, and instead they give you like randomly generated infinite nonsense, and sometimes it says you're on level 3, but it's like there's no menu. You can't go back and play level 1 because it's like it didn't really exist.
Yeah.
That type of game, I feel like just the people making it don't really care. They're just trying to get money.
Yeah.
I think it shows. But that's where I'm at video game wise. I've gone way too deep into the
You've gone deep into the psychology of
junky mobile games.
Yeah.
I also was listening to the previous podcast, and we talked about games on the Wii U, which actually take advantage of the gamepad.
Yeah.
And we didn't mention it in the episode, but I figure it's worth a mention. The WarioWare for the Wii U.
Oh yeah.
Had one of the games inside that game was like because WarioWare is all about like mini games and different styles of mini games and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I haven't actually played the Wii U one. I've played the DS one and the Wii one. They're both very fun.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, the Wii U WarioWare has this thing where like you're trying to play games on the gamepad, and like your mom has told you to go to sleep, and on the TV it's like this little person that is your mom will like swing the door open and try and catch you, and you have to like press a button or something to hide.
I see. Yeah.
And it's like you can't play the games and hide at the same time. But you have to actually physically be looking at the gamepad to be playing the game successfully.
Yeah.
So you have to like be watching out for the mom in like your peripheral. Just another example to add to, I guess, a bit of follow up on previous conversation.
The meta thing is, there's probably someone who's played that minigame whilst that exact situation's happening to them.
That would be pretty meta.
Yeah.
That's like an extra level of but it's just one of those things that's like you could do on the Wii U because of the way it was set up.
Split screen thing, yeah,
where it's like you couldn't really do that on the Switch because it's only it's only got one screen.
I mean, 1-2 Switch is pretty good at using the Switch's capabilities. I think just every console they've had has had one game that's done what they've wanted, and then just opened up the platform for anyone, and then lots of poo-poo gets put on their store.
Right.
But
I mean that's what Nintendo does.
Yeah.
Really, is like they design their platforms to be very unique.
Yeah, right.
And then it's like you can't really replicate that experience. That's why I think they're much less in danger of competition with the PC gaming market.
Yeah, whereas
Whereas
consoles
like
currently being
PlayStation
crushed.
and Xbox, it's like you can see it's like very similar. I mean, they have the advantage of convenience of, you know, you plug your PlayStation and you put the disc in, you have a controller and it works, versus like a PC where it's like a lot of installing and whatever. But yeah, they I see them as much more direct competitors, whereas Nintendo versus PC, it's like not really a thing.
Right. Yeah, cause they have. I mean, there are things you can install on PC to use like Wiimotes and stuff, but yeah, it's not like a more direct thing where it's like you can
Yeah.
play Call of Duty or play any of the games a console can, but at 15 times the resolution they say they can play it at. Consoles say they can play it at.
Yeah, it's a lot more set up to try and use Wiimotes than it is to like just plug in
Yeah.
a game controller, you know.
Yeah.
And even still, it's like that's software designed for like people using Wiimotes, which they bought from Nintendo
Yeah.
in most cases.
I mean,
You know?
I think I have a third party Wiimote somewhere, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's true, I suppose. But that's also like, yeah, that's several generations back, and they're always coming up with like
the point
new
still stands. Yeah.
new like weird things. Like a lot of DS games I don't think would work as well with a mouse as they would with, and maybe there's a way that you can get like a stylus and an iPad and play an emulated DS game off that. But it's just
they've made it emulator proof. Apart from
like just they get creative with the hardware in ways that it's like hard to replicate.
Yeah.
In the same way with the Wii U, it's like having a screen on the controller and having a screen on the TV and having those screens display different stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it would be a little bit more complicated of a setup.
Yeah.
Versus just here's the TV, here's the controller, play a game.
Right.
You know? But yeah, that was, I don't think, one we mentioned. And
yeah, WarioWare. We talked about like
Zombie U.
Yeah, Zombie U and
Nintendo Land.
Yeah, and games like that, or say Paper Mario, but that's kind of cheating because they didn't use it properly.
Was there a Wii U Paper Mario?
Yeah,
I remember there was a Wii Paper Mario. I don't remember.
There was a Wii U one. It wasn't exactly too well liked by most people. But yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Has that been released on Switch as well? Again?
No, it can't have. Oh no, yeah, no, it possibly can't. It couldn't have because the way it worked.
You used the gamepad.
Well, in a weird, like, you would have these cards, and then the way you would interact with the menus, it would be on the gamepad. But the only point it was on the gamepad was because it was on the gamepad. There's just no other reason for it, pretty much. But no, yeah.
Okay.
That's why it wouldn't work on the Switch.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
They'll probably still find a way to port it if there was a demand for it. But it sounds like the fact that I don't really remember it at all.
Yeah, no.
And I've actually played a fair amount of Wii U games.
Yeah.
Should probably tell you something about whether or not there's demand.
And maybe Nintendo's marketing more than anything.
But they ported everything else, so maybe they'll find a way.
Like New Super Mario Gold Deluxe UVW for the DS World 3D.
So what have you been playing, other than, you said, Borderlands?
I'm playing some quite a bit of Overwatch lately. Well, I've kind of slowed down because I don't want to burn through my appetite for Overwatch. So I've been a bit more.
You don't want to get too good.
Well, yeah.
All those people.
Well, I'm already
in the pro leagues.
I'm already too good. I want to give them a chance.
Yeah, you want to give them a chance.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah. That's why I'm planning on like moving to like proper like hard, proper like competitive games like Minesweeper and Call of Duty.
Minesweeper, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, no, Call of Duty. That's a game that, you know, one time I had to press forward and left click at the same time.
Ooh, sounds like a game that really uses your brain a lot.
Yeah.
You know, really makes you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of weird competitive championships like Minesweeper or Solitaire, I was on YouTube, and I'll have a pop like on my sub bar. I'll have on the top. It'll be people who are live, and I'll have a little symbol next to their name. And one was Clash of Clans. So intrigued, I click on it, and there are currently Clash of Clans World Championships happening as we are speaking.
Isn't Clash of Clans like that stereotypical pay-to-win microtransaction phone game?
Yeah, it is. It's like the game where you try to upgrade something. It takes 4 days, and the only way to do it is by using currency that you need to pay money to get, or wait 4 years. So there's a
championship for a paid thing?
Like, I think they get people who have the max level at everything anyway and have a big maxed out clan. So it doesn't matter how they got to where they are.
Okay, so there is a max level then.
Yeah, of course. There is a ceiling to this. Every so often they will update it. I think it's like a level 12. Yeah. But all the strategies of what enemies to use and when to use certain potions and stuff still stays the same. But it's just... It's interesting how broad esports is becoming now, where a strategy game for little Blorpy on his little Billy iPad. Hang on. Little Billy on his Blorpy iPad.
Well, I think part of it is the games which can afford to have a championship.
Yeah. Supercell's like a massive company. So is Blizzard or Valve has a lot of money for CSGO and
it's the games which can Dota. Like have an opportunity to like profit off of that sort of thing are the games which are making a lot of money.
Yeah, and so it increases the attention of that game because it's got a World Series.
Right, yeah. Whereas like, some smaller indie game wouldn't necessarily have a World Series because they would end up going bankrupt trying to promote a World Series.
Yeah.
To then promote their game,
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't make any sense economically.
Yeah, of course.
It only makes sense for games that are doing well.
Are big with like a somewhat big competitive scene.
That's what I'm saying though. I don't think it is about the competitive scene. It's like that helps.
Oh yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I think what it actually is about is
because Rainbow Six has had a like ranked mode for ages. But it's only recently that there's been an actual like tournament.
Right. I think it's less about the competition and more about is it profiting.
Yeah.
Like are there TF2
there are official TF2 championships and stuff. I've watched a couple of games. It's weird. It's when you're playing a game and you watch a professional and they're doing something completely other to what you're doing, you're like, hang on, that's what I'm meant to be doing? Oh.
See, I bring that one up because it's free to play. But I guess, to be fair, I don't know what kind of income they make off their
competitive
cosmetics and stuff.
To be competitive, you need to have a paid version of the game, be over level 3, which is the leveling system, and give them your telephone number so you can be called up if you wanted to join a proper game. So their competitive isn't like you get a fancy arbitrary rank. It's more you actually can qualify into the big games and get big bucks from it, which is quite interesting.
It does sound interesting.
I guess because it was one of like it was the first like proper esports. So I guess the idea of competitive was only half really being experimented with. But yeah.
Wait, I think phone apps make a lot more money than people expect them to.
Yeah, they make like the most. Minecraft is the most selling game of all time, and the platform
Tetris, I think. But yeah,
is this still? I thought overtook it at some point.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
I remember seeing something. Maybe it was close to overtaking it, but the platform Minecraft is played on most is the mobile edition, which is really weird. How I think it's just there's just hundreds of kids with iPads out there who like to poke things and spend their parents' money.
Is like it became very popular
Yeah.
with kids and like
Like they would watch,
people,
Dan TDM and what's his name?
you know,
SS Sunday.
the people of your generation and younger are all
the
growing
one?
up with tablets.
Ooh, what's his name? The guy.
So Minecraft is probably one of the better games that they can play on their tablet.
Yeah, of course. And it's only about £5, $7, $10.
The Pocket Edition, yeah.
Yeah.
Top 5 here: Tetris, Minecraft,
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto, Wii Sports, and PUBG.
Well, the numbers on each of them.
And then number 6 is Pokemon.
What are the figures?
Tetris is 170 million, and Minecraft is 154 million. So yeah, it's getting close.
It's getting closer.
And then GTA 5 is just 100 million. So it's...
And then I'm guessing PUBG is like
so ways
40 million.
Yeah, Wii Sports is like 82, and then like PUBG is like 50.
Yeah.
And then Pokemon is like 47. So yeah, it starts to go down pretty quickly after that.
Yeah. It's weird if you're playing a game, you're really probably sharing that experience with like quite a small amount of the human population. Anyhow, yeah, it just kind of caught me off guard that if there's enough money that anything can have a competitive league. I don't know, maybe we'll be seeing some color 3D splash ball appearing on the Blogstagram.
No, I think it's got to have some substance to it.
Oh yeah, well yeah, some kind of something that can be competed for.
Yeah, I think the competition is a key element.
I mean, it's interesting when you see people.
I think there are plenty of games that are more competitive but don't have leagues.
Yeah,
because there just like isn't the money for it.
Yeah,
so I think it's a two ingredient kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Clash of Clans, I think, maybe falls more on the money end than it does on the competitive end.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was watching it, and it was just like this close-up of this guy staring at a screen, and this guy, like, this commentator doing this, like, oh, when he's placing troops here, and just all that's happening is you just see a guy tap, if I just stare at the screen, then tap again for a potion, tap again for another potion.
Very exciting stuff.
Tap again for another potion. Tap again. Yeah, then it ends.
I think his strategy is to use potions. And
yeah,
I think
it's
the other guy might not be thinking of that.
Then just how like the best strategies aren't when to use these troops. It's to use the highest leveled high troops that can kill everything with their sneezes and kisses. But yeah,
that's what Wobbles thinks about Clash of Clans.
I mean, I was into it for a while. I did like the defense building and the strategies behind.
You don't have to defend it to me. I've never played it.
But yeah, I don't know. I have, but I normally play it, then get to a point where I realize everything's gonna take 4 days to build, and then I
was hating on
uninstall it, and then the vicious cycle continues. And then I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Reinstalled it, and then yeah.
I was hating on Twitter and Duolingo earlier, so I think you're allowed to hate on Marvel and Clash of Clans.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's clearly just a money grabbing machine of money. And those apply to both the things I was grumbling about today.
This has been a very grumbly podcast.
Man, that's one for the blorper. The blorps the chat. Still working on the name. Blorp.
If only we had a platform where we could blorp our complaints. Send them straight into the blorp void.
The Bloid?
The Bloidal?
Bloidal.
Bleep bloop.
Bleepity bloop bloop. Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah.
See you, Minters.
I think we've already ended. I think we ended on bleep bloop bloop.
Chapter 10. It starts off by telling us about the infinite improbability drive.
Yeah, it's just like giving some explanations of like
Yeah.
how the improbability theory works, I guess. And it says it's like finite improbability was understood for a long time and was used as like a party trick, but like infinite
the new
probability
stuff.
The thing they needed to crack.
Yeah, and the way of making a finite improbability is hooking the logic circuit of a Bambleweenie 57 to a brown Aryan motion producer, like a hot cup of tea, and then that's how you make a finite improbability drive, and then so it's just more than another short chapter where it goes over how it happened.
Right.
It said it was just found by a student who was left to sweep up the lab, who was just thinking about the infinite improbability drive.
Right. It was like it. I like the part where it was saying a lot of members of the scientific community don't like the use of like the finite probability drive as a party trick or whatever.
Funny.
But it's also because they don't get invited to those sorts of parties. And ultimately, the infinite improbability drive was determined to be virtually impossible, which I think like pretty much. Virtually impossible is just a way of saying improbable.
Yeah.
Highly improbable, which is sort of the whole thing.
Yeah. So it was working out exactly how improbable an infinite improbability drive is. And because there's a probability of it existing, if you can work it out, it must exist, or will exist, or something like that.
Right, yeah, it was like you put the probability of it existing into the finite probability drive or something, and it spontaneously creates one out of nothing.
Like the chance of survival compared to someone's phone number. Don't know how that plays into anything at all.
And then the guy who figured it out was lynched by angry physicists, like you do.
Yeah, because they don't like a smart ass. Yeah. It's like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy chapter without it being a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Right. Like, I think the whole setup with, like, the encyclopedia type feel of, like, the Hitchhiker's Guide, I think that makes these, like, short informational chapters feel a lot more natural in this book.
Yeah, and I guess it's sometimes in, like, sci-fi stuff, they'll try to explain how something works through dialogue, but that comes off as like unnatural. But in a book, you can just set aside a chapter to explain something and it like be natural to read through. It's another thing, a good thing, it just shows again Douglas Adams being very good at writing.
Yeah, because so sometimes you can get away with Ford explaining something to Arthur because Arthur doesn't know a lot of things.
Yeah, and it's like,
but it's like something with too much information. And even still, like, I like that I mean, this is partially because it's like more of like a comedic sci-fi, but I like that it doesn't go too much into detail because I find that gets kind of silly with like some really invested like Star Trek fans or Star Wars fans where they like have the plans to the Death Star and they're like they can tell you what each like vent does, and I'm
because you can get these thick books but it does like
but like
a cross section of an X-wing. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool, but it's not like I wouldn't study it and be like, why didn't Luke throw a grenade in the avion barrel?
Right, it is cool, but it's also with science fiction, you reach a certain point where this is fictional science. You know, if there were diagrams and like formulas for everything to where like it was scientifically accurate, then we would just have a real X-wing we could fly around. You know, I think part of the point is that it's even if it's not complete like fantasy, at least it's like speculative about like what science will be like years from now. But I wouldn't expect the science fiction writer to be able to write down.
Yeah, I like science fiction. Most things they have like a sense of realism until just they have one big thing in their universe which can't be done.
That's true. Like sometimes it all makes sense except for the one.
Like, we haven't found this mystical magic element from Blorp that gives us infinite energy. Like in the Marvel movies, I think most of it's we just don't. Yeah, we don't have a metal made that like vibranium.
Yeah, I mean not that you know about.
Oh yeah, well.
But yeah, I think it's a good way of exposition that feels natural because of the way the guide has been set up.
Yeah, the way the book's been written already.
And it's like, because it's set to be like this mass encyclopedia, Wikipedia kind of overview of everything.
Yeah.
It's not giving like too much detail, which I think is actually a strength, because it'll sometimes, some of the articles, it's like it'll tell you like a funny story or something about something related to the thing.
Yeah.
Rather than just like like here's schematics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Till next time.
Yeah. See you in a bit, or whichever order you decide to listen to these in.
I hope someone's not listening to them out of order.
Chapter 11. So yeah, Chapter 11.
Alright, so they finally have normality.
Yes.
And we find out that the ship actually is the one that picked them up, not the people piloting the ship.
Yeah. Just makes sense. Seeing how the ship works. Yeah.
We get introduced to Marvin.
Yeah, the depressed robot.
Right.
And Trillian. And Zaphod we know is the guy from like few chapters ago.
Right. The black president.
Yeah.
I like that it goes into a bit of detail in this chapter about the genuine people personalities or whatever. Apparently Marvin was a personality prototype.
Yeah. And he's just horribly depressed.
Yeah. He also hates the doors.
Yeah, because they're overly happy.
Yeah.
And feel really smug when you walk through them and they open and close.
Right. The doors get some weird satisfaction every time they open and close for you.
Yeah, just an interesting way of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it ensures that the robot is going to do the job that you want it to do.
Yeah,
I just don't know why doors need to have a personality in the first place.
Yeah, and it's a bit weird. But yeah, so... Oh, there's a mini Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy... entry.
Yeah.
Excerpt, yeah. And it talks about the Encyclopedia Galactica defining a robot as a mechanical apparatus designed to do the work for man. And then, so it talks about, the marketing division of Cyrus Cybernetics Corporation defines a robot as your plastic pal who's fun to be with. And then Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy throws shade at the marketing division of Cyrus Cybernetics Corporation, calling them a bunch of mindless jerks. Be the first against the wall when the revolution comes.
Presumably, like, the robot revolution of people like Marvin.
And then it's saying that in the future, the Encyclopedia Galactica will also have that same entry for Cyrus Cybernetics Corporation.
Except that it's past tense in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they say they were the first against the wall when the...
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I misread that. Yeah. The cubicle they had been in had disappeared, and all those Shakespearean monkeys had also vanished.
Yeah.
And there was a pamphlet about the Heart of Gold, I think. And it was... it was kind of just Ford nerding about all the different parts. There's like 15 years of technological advancements he's missed.
Right. And then the Marvin's sent down to get them and bring them back up, and Ford asks him whatever, and Marvin mentions Zaphod Beeblebrox, and the chapter ends there with Ford recognizing the name.
Yeah.
So Ford must know Zaphod, or I suppose he's thinking knows of, or maybe he knows someone else named Zaphod Beeblebrox in the galaxy. Who knows? You know?
Yeah, I think that's it for this chapter, unless there's anything you had.
Yeah, no, I think that's where the chapter ends, so we will pick it up from there.
Cool. Chapter 12. This starts with Zaphod searching the radio to find his name.
Yes.
And
a very
it just
complicated
describes
radio.
And it just describes a touchscreen radio, but you have to hold on to the frequency it's at.
No, I think it was in the air, wasn't it?
Oh, I see, like one of those... I said controls were made touch sensitive. You merely had to brush brush the panels with your fingers.
Right, I think that was saying...
Oh, so you just... Like, it's like a motion... Like, you wave your hand in front of a sensor, I see. That's what... Okay, I see. So you could control the radio from another side of the room, you just have to be really still.
Yeah, yeah. It says then as the technology became more sophisticated, the controls were made touch sensitive. But then it
Yeah.
says now all you have to do is wave your hand. Yeah. So that was
Yeah,
like
so it
sort
was-
of the in between stage, which I guess is the stage we're at now.
Yeah, with just a radio where you can just drag the little dot. Like you can just like with radio apps, you can either search up a radio station, or you just drag your finger along to find the frequency you want.
Right.
But yeah, it was talking about it's just him trying to find news about him, see what people were saying. Lots of music was playing as he kept moving his hand, and then they talk about sector ZZ9 plural Z alpha.
Right.
It's where Trillian was picked up by Zaphod.
Yeah.
It's another big coincidence that probably
Yeah. So basically,
caused them to
Trillian
find
is
each other.
from Earth.
Yeah. I think that's what we learned from this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's more or less the whole chapter.
yeah, pretty much.
I will say the one thing I really liked in this chapter was 68 for me, where it's talking about how Trillian's had to learn over her relationship with Zephod is distinguishing when he's pretending to be stupid
Oh yeah, or is actually being stupid.
or there's like 4 or 5 different like examples. Pretending to be stupid to get people off their guard, pretending to be stupid because he couldn't bother to think and wants to let someone else do it, pretending to be outrageously stupid to hide the fact that he doesn't actually know or didn't actually understand it. Yeah, like I feel like all of those different cases kind of adds to his character, and then they work out some probabilities and stuff, which is like
So
yeah, it just makes me think maybe his character is not as dumb as he appears.
yeah, I remember if the chapter where they talk to the robot. No, the computer. Oh no, yeah, they haven't not figuring out the probability yet. But yeah, no, this is just it's just back and forth between Zaphod and Trillian, really.
Oh, the computer which like spits out paper and he like yells.
Yeah,
at it.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah, clearly this whole ship is like filled up with
Really happy. Yeah.
yeah, like everything has a little personality.
Yeah, or something like that, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
Good chapter. We'll see you next time.
Chapter 13. Marvin takes them down to the bridge and introduces them to Zaphod and Trillian.
Right.
Right, yeah.
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 And that's
They
about
seem already fed up with Marvin and they've only just met.
yeah, that's about all that like physically happens in this.
Yeah.
But like on the way, I love the line that's like Marvin's like, you know what happens now, and it's like, no, what? Said Arthur, who didn't want to know.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I feel that line.
Anyway, it's like, oh, we've arrived at another one of those doors. That's very happy about you
Right,
opening
yeah.
it for you.
The door.
And they get some kind of pleasure from it, which is kind
Awkward.
of strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ford is like, all like full of himself because he knows Zaphod because they're semi-cousins or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Arthur knows Zaphod because it's quite funny because he was at a fancy dress party and Zaphod was able to sneak in,
Right.
and hit on Trillian, and then now we're here.
Yeah. Ford just seems so upset though because he was like all proud of himself for knowing Zaphod.
Yeah.
And he's gonna like show off to Arthur or whatever and be like,
And Arthur's like,
oh yeah, I know him too.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, we met. It's like, how, you earthling? But yeah, apparently he swung by a party on Earth and started flirting with Trillian, who Arthur
and then,
was talking to.
Yeah.
So I guess technically they had all met prior to this
Yeah.
situation, except for Ford and Trillian.
It's like a situation where Ford's at a disadvantage with knowing people.
Yeah. But it's also just like weird because it's like the same, I don't know, it seems like a random collection of people, but it's like somehow they've run into each other before.
Then Zaphod is trying to calculate odds. Was he doing that last chapter? I can't remember. I remember there's like this subplot about the robot that spits out pieces of paper. But he doing a calculation where you find the highest possible probability is infinity minus 1, and then you do right. It was something like that, and then you can find the chance of something happening, meaning the heart of gold can actually work.
Yeah, I don't quite remember whether.
Yeah, it was vaguely something like some like weird equation. But yeah, I know is there anything else you want to say about chapter 13?
I mean, That's about it. They get escorted to the bridge. They all meet and realize
then,
they've met before.
Yep. And then they try to... And then they kind of somewhat explain the infinite improbability drive to Arthur, I guess, more than Ford.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Ford doesn't exactly know what it is, but
He knows the concept.
Yeah, it would be like someone fell asleep in 2012, then woke up with a Switch. They're like, oh, wow, the Wii U looks good. It's like, oh, you poor boy.
Yeah, or it'd be like explaining like nuclear power to someone in the 1700s versus someone today. It's like, oh, I know that's a thing that exists. I might not know all the details of it. Whereas someone in the 1700s would be like, what are you talking about? Nuclear?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was another one of those short chapters. I think mainly filled with dialogue, as it's just all the characters talking and stuff about things.
Yeah, it's like the four of them all being in the same room at the same time.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. Or 5 if you count Marvin.
But yeah, interesting chapter. Chapter 14. Yeah, so we've just done just boosted up the infinite improbability drive. And that was interesting, the night of space. I wonder if it just means like...
I mean, I guess, I didn't think about that. I mean, I guess they just get tired, and it was like, Yeah. Or maybe it's standardized, maybe it's not, but it's like the ship must like simulate like nighttime in some way.
High enough like tech that it probably could do that with like fancy lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be too hard. But yeah, it's talking about how they're all like struggling to sleep because they're contemplating how they haven't been like selected randomly, but they're actually just it's like
they had not been
part of the improbability
brought together not of their own volition or by simple coincidence, but by some curious perversion of physics. Which is quite interesting. Where it's just like, I guess, it's just all these things line up perfectly. It's kind of like weird because it's like, if those coincidences wouldn't have happened, the machine wouldn't have picked them up, which was also a coincidence that fed the machine. But then the machine, it's weird because it's like the chance they would all find each other also was improbable in itself. It's improbable that it's hard to verbalize like, but where I don't know. It does say in the next paragraph, as the ship's artificial night closed. So it does seem to be it's like a artificial.
Oh, okay. So we do have
like,
confirmed
night system that runs based on like the ship, and
it talks about what each person's doing, and it says that Trillian is looking at her two white mice, which are her only remnant of Earth, and like she's saying how like she never really intended or like expected to go back there,
not that,
but at the same time it feels weird to know that it no longer exists. It's
a weird sort of thing. Now out of all of the human history, it lies in all the history of Earth, it lies in Arthur, Trillian, and some mice. I
actually really like on it's page 75 for me.
Page 75
I don't know if it would be the same.
In the middle of
but
chapter 16.
It's like, it's a description of Zaphod, where it's like the fact that he had become president of the galaxy was frankly astonishing. It's Ford's what Ford is thinking about, I guess, when he's thinking about Zaphod. As was the manner of him leaving his post. Was there a reason behind it? There would be no point in asking. He never appeared to have a reason for anything he did at all. I like this description of he attacked everything in life with a mixture of extraordinary genius and naive incompetence. And it was often difficult to tell which was which.
Yeah.
Quite the character.
It's the bit where... So there's the bit where it says...
And then, of course...
he had turned into an
Arthur was...
Unfathomability. Into an ant form. It's quite funny as well. He's managed to take his just pure nonsense and make it something actually quite like enjoyable, I guess. Yeah.
Right. His approach to life is like an art form. Yeah. And then Arthur was the only one that was actually able to sleep.
He was terribly tired, and that's all Arthur has.
And the other three end up meeting on the bridge, and they discovered what Zaphod refers to as the most improbable planet that ever existed.
Chapter 15. So this talks about what kind of Zaphod was leading into the last chapter, where he finds, or has found, the most improbable planet. This one is a weird, like, I thought it stands out as a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy extract, because it gives the page number, which is 634,784 in section 5A, entry Magrathea.
Magrathea.
Magrathea?
Yeah.
Okay, that does sound a bit better than Magrathea. It's like a
urethra.
Magma.
Yeah.
So, I think essentially it was this super rich planet, which was just a tax haven.
Right. Yeah, it opens on this this whole excerpt from the guide talking about like the early days of the galaxy and like forging an empire and becoming rich. Yeah. And some people becoming very rich was nothing to be ashamed of because no one was really poor. At least no one worth speaking of.
Yikes, yeah.
Yikes. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But this planet, Magrathea, ended up being the headquarters of these people making custom planets for the ultra wealthy.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, like like made of gold, platinum, or soft rubber.
Yeah, whatever people would order.
Yeah. So it became So it was rich because it took money from the rich to make itself richer.
Yeah, so it's like it became the most rich because it's all the people that are crazy rich are spending all their money on custom planets.
Yeah. But then the system broke due to abject poverty.
Yeah, it ended up like they were sucking up all the money, I guess, from the galactic economy.
So the empire collapsed. And then it just kind of disappeared. Yeah.
It's like obviously they didn't have any customers anymore, and they just like fell into legend, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like no one even believes that.
In these enlightened days,
existed.
Of course, no one believes a word of it.
Right.
But we're about to find out that might not be necessarily true.
Yep.
Well, okay. Cool.
And I guess we will find out in the next chapter.